Hey everyone, I'm Jared with WagonMaster's Travel, and on this edition of Grillin and Chillin, we have some special guests joining us today.
I'm Will Taylor, Winema Lodge and RV.
I'm Wyatt Taylor, also helping out with Winema Lodge RV.
And we are going to be making BBQ Tri Tip. Stay tuned to find out how to do this. What we're going to do here is we are going to be injecting this with a barbecue seasoning. Now, as you notice here, we've got two different types of barbecue seasoning. One of them is really good for injecting. It's made more of a powder type barbecue, whereas the other type is more of a granule. It doesn't go through the injector tip all that well, but it works great on the outside for a rub. So we're going to use this one. And our mixture that we did is very simple. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of the barbecue seasoning, 3 teaspoons of just plain old sugar, and 1/4 cup of water. So, Wyatt, you want to help me out here and unwrap this for me?
Sure.
Pull this out of your way here. Now, what I found with the injector, the big heavy-duty steel injectors work really good. You got one of the smaller ones with a little tube, even with the powder type injector, it clogs really easy. And you're not going to like it too much. You'll go to push it in there, it's going to get stuck. The injector's not going to work all that well. You're going to really shove on there, it's not going to do it. Another thing you want to watch out for, which can be really humorous, is as you're injecting it in there, it's going to build up some pressure inside. And you're going to just inject a little too much and it's going to come squirting back out that hole. And depending on how hard you push on there, it's going to depend on how far it squirts back out. So, let's...
Well, so first thing we've done is we've washed our hands, just to make sure everything's done.
Always wash your hands.
Always wash your hands, good job. So, as soon as he gets done injecting this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lather it with a sweet honey mustard, and then we're going to cover it in the seasoning, and then we're going to let it rest. And unless you want to go right away and put it on the smoker, don't be afraid to go out and go set your smoker at 180 degrees to start smoking it for a couple hours. And so as soon as we get that done, I'll show you where we're going from here.
Let's check this in.
So you also want to be careful because there's sometimes holes in the meat. So if you go too fast, it's going to like squirt injecting stuff out of the holes, and life probably wouldn't be too good with the cabinets.
You've done that a few times, haven't you?
Done this a few times. This is one of the nice way of getting a lot of flavor throughout your meat. See, I went in just a little too far and it started coming out that side. You want to be careful when you are injecting it. The needles on these are a little bit sharp. So you probably don't want to end up in the emergency room by putting some barbecue sauce seasoning in your fingers. I can pretty much guarantee you the nurses and the doctor at the emergency room will laugh at you.
Yeah, and it might sting a little.
That's true. Your finger might taste a little better though.
So just one thing to remember when you're going ahead after you inject this thing, it's best to let it rest for a couple hours by putting it in the fridge, let it marinate. That way the juices and everything adhere to the new sauce that you put inside.
There we go. Just move this aside now.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do, Wyatt's going to turn around, he's going to lather this up. He's going to use his hands, and he's going to smother the entire tri-tip with the honey mustard. It's Sweet Baby Ray's. We're going to just lather it up. That way the seasoning will stick to it. Put your hands in there, Wyatt. We're going to...
And those that have watched our YouTube channel videos for some of our other meats have seen us do this before. And this is the man that taught me this trick. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a tangy, zippy flavor to it. And it doesn't take that much. You just want to get it all over the meat, get a good glaze to it, flip her over, get it on all sides of it.
All right, ready?
And it's already starting to smell really good.
Okay, once you get the whole thing, we're gonna leave it right there. Now we're gonna take, it's Grill Mates barbecue seasoning. It's absolutely phenomenal. You can pick it up at Walmart. It's a great, great seasoning. It's got a lot of bold flavors. Really, you should try it. Check it out. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use it, and we'll make sure that we're gonna cover it thick.
And after we let this rest for a while, when we get it on the smoker, we're going to take it to
Turn it side.
about a medium done on the internal temp. So we're going to run it to about 151 to 156 degrees on the internal temp when we pull it off of the smoker. And then we would let it just sit in here on the counter for probably another 10 to 15 minutes while we get some of the other sides and everything ready to go before we cut it. And at that time, you're going to be able to see the grain of the meat a little bit better because you want to cut against that grain. When it's raw, you can't really see the grain all that well. But on a normal tri-tip, the grain changes from one side to the other. So you're not going to be consistent as you cut it all the way across.
Okay, one thing you want to do, we like to run ours on a rack. You can buy this rack on Amazon. What'd you say it was, about 28 bucks?
Yeah, about 25 to 28 bucks.
The reason we want to put it on the rack is we want the smoke to adhere the whole roast, the whole tri-tip. So by putting it on the rack, that lets it surround it all the way. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it on the rack, but we prefer to line the sheet pan underneath it. It makes for an easy cleanup. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than baked on drippings because they're a little tough to get off. So we're going to go ahead and very carefully pick this up.
And especially on a smoker, if you're using it a lot, trying to clean a smoker can take all day, can be a pain in the butt. This is a very easy way to still get that smoke flavor all the way around all of your meat, but without dirtying up your smoker.
So now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this in the refrigerator. We're going to let it rest if we have time, and then as soon as the smoke is ready to go, we'll throw her on and we'll be back.
Okay, so we're going to make up some side dishes here. We got everything that we need, but we got an extra helper here with us today. So who do we got here, Wyatt?
Yeah, this is Wyatt. This is my grandson. He decided to come in and want to give us a hand. So we're going to let it get messy here in a few minutes when we do the potatoes. So, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Did you wash your hands?
Yeah.
Good job. All right.
Okay, so what are you going to have us do here for our side dish?
So today we're going to do baby red potatoes. We're going to cube them up and we're going to salt them with garlic and avocado oil or olive oil, your choice. A little bit of herb and garlic seasoning, and then we're going to put those on the grill if we want, or you can put them in the oven. Cook them at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. Turn them almost into like a French fry. Tops, I'm telling you, they're awesome.
Sweet.
What are you going to do?
Well, I think we're going to take some broccoli here, some cauliflower. We're going to put them in a pot here. We've got one of the old style for steamer. So if you don't have an actual steamer, you don't have to go out and spend the large money, $100 for an actual steamer. You can pick one of these things up. Works great. Just set it in the pot with some water in there. You can cut these down and put them in here, and you can actually just steam them in a regular old pot.
That's perfect. All right, well, we're going to get to cutting on these things and see where we go.
Cool. Let's get to work.
All right, I'm going to have you wash some of these potatoes for me, okay?
Okay.
Would you get those potatoes washed up for me?
Break some of this stuff off of here, and then we'll. Whew. These are nice sized ones. Sometimes it's easier just break them off into the big chunks, and then we'll cut a lot of this stock off. I think it's easy to get, if this is a vegetable, easiest to get the meat of the vegetable, rather than steam up a bunch of this that you don't really want to chow on.
Alright, got the potatoes all washed up. We're going to put them on the cutting board. We're going to chop these up.
Want a bite? Okay.
Not a big fan of pork pie.
It's good for you.
Take our nice sharp knife. Now remember, when you are cutting with knives, have a sharp knife. Quite often, when you're going to actually cut yourself, it's going to be with a dull knife.
Size, about that size. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have Wyatt pour some olive oil on this, and we're going to toss them.
We are using avocado oil.
Or your choice, olive oil, avocado oil. Avocado oil's got a nice taste to it, and not only that, it doesn't burn. It's olive oil has a tendency to burn if you get it too hot. So we'll go ahead and we're going to have you sprinkle some on there, Wyatt. No more. There you go. Okay.
Yep.
Put it back on. Now we're going to take a little bit of the.
That looks too good.
A little bit of the WagonMaster's seasoning from WagonMaster Travels. I'll get it. You're going to get your hands dirty.
Oh, that looks too good.
Next
Now,
we have.
We're going to put garlic powder on it instead of salt because the seasoning has enough salt in it for us, so we don't want to oversalt it. So we're just going to use the garlic powder this time.
I'll let you explain this one.
So this is a garlic and herb, so it actually adds a little more flavor to it. It's almost like your Italian dressing flavoring, but it's in the dry rub. So we're going to put that in there. This is basically a salt-free, so it's just garlic and herbs. All right, Wyatt. Just turn around, get your hands in there. Get them all mixed up.
Well, he's mixing that one up. What I like doing with this, a little bit of garlic. Not too much so. Now, normally this is where my wife would say, that's enough. Don't tell her.
Now we're going to toss this just a little bit, make sure we got it all done. Perfect. Now we're going to set these on a sheet pan in the oven or on the smoker for about 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. They'll come out crispy golden, or put them on the smoker, give it a little smoke flavor. I think you'll be happy. While it's set in the oven for 350 degrees, we should be good to go here in just a little bit.
Yeah, he's got those. All we got to do for this, when we're about ready, we're going to add about 3/4 of an inch of water in here, just enough so as it boils, it'll let the steam come up. We'll just put the lid on here. It'll take probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so. Let these steam, and they'll be good to go. Don't over steam them though, so you want to check them. If they start getting squishy, you definitely want to take them
So one more
off.
thing we need to do, we took our sheet pan, we covered it with aluminum foil, and then we sprayed the aluminum foil with pan or non-cooking spray. That way when we put the potatoes on there, it sticks to not the pan. That way it's easy cleanup, you don't have to sit and scrub your pan and everything. So we're going to take these things out, we're gingerly going to spread them on here like this. Put them all on there like that. And then Wyatt, he's going to spread them all out, nice and smooth, them all laying flat.
Looks really good too. How big of a pack was that?
That needs to be cut a little bit.
No, I think that was fine. Those bigger people can eat them. A little guy like you, you know, you can eat a little one. We'll eat the big ones. But anyways, So what were you asking?
And then that package of potatoes, how big of
That was
About
basically a
1
1
pound?
pound bag. 1 pound bag will feed like 4 to 5 people. You know, depending on whether you like potatoes or not. Me, I need to have prime by myself. Can't you tell? So from this, we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it right into the oven right now. So let her cook. One more side we're doing. We decided to do some artisan bread with garlic butter. We're gonna wrap it up on the aluminum foil. We already done it. Spread it. Got it all good on there. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna put this on the smoker for the last 20 minutes. We're gonna get this good and hot. We got fresh hot bread when we get done. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna set it on the grill. We're gonna have it with the butter end up, so it'll saturate into the bread. Hopefully get it all out. It'll be dripping, just like we like. Wyatt, you wanna open up that oven door for me?
Sure. Ooh, those look tasty.
So now that we got this cooked and it's ready to go, we're gonna cut it up. Now, the main thing you wanna do with tri-tip is you wanna cut against the grain. Otherwise, you're gonna be chewing on a tire. So as you do it when it's raw, it's really hard to see the grain on it, but after it's cooked, you can see the grain. This piece, and with most of your tri-tip, the grain's gonna change for the whole thing. It's gonna start out one way, and as you get to the other side, it's gonna change on you. So this grain is going this way over here, it's gonna go here. So when we first start cutting it, we're gonna go against the grain on this side of it, then we're gonna have to change it and cut the other way. So let's start.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and pan up the potatoes.
That you can't really see.
Oh, this looks so good. Yeah, that looks good. And we took this temperature. It came out to right about 156. And as you can see, it is not very red in the middle. And you know, this piece right here, though, is no good. So I'm going to take one for the team and make sure nobody gets sick. It was no good at all. That piece sucked. I'm just telling you. Man, that was good.
But you said it sucked.
It did suck. It was gross. Okay, so we're gonna put this get it all ready to go. And once this is in here, I'll show you why having a good cutting board is helpful. Did you notice the juice is still here? Now, up until about 3 weeks ago, we had a small cutting board, and every time I would cut something, I'd have to have a roll of paper towels near because it would start running off onto our counter. So I'd get a couple slices done, I'd have to grab some paper towels, and I'd have to clean it up because it started going on the counters and running down onto the floor. Now that you have a good countertop cutting board, it'll stay right here. So you can just go to town on it and it stays here. The mess doesn't go all over the place. So get yourself a good cutting board. It's worth spending 25 bucks for it versus $5. All right, everything is done. Veggies, our killer potatoes, the tri-tip, that's good enough to kill a cow for, and some great bread. So let's put all this on a plate. Let's see what it looks like. All nice and done up, and these are great. Nice and steamed, and they are crunchy. And these turned out wonderful. Kind of like beautiful French fries, but they're not long and they don't have Mick in the name. And this. Ugh. Oh, no, don't want that much. Now the good part is, we still had a little bit left over. So we're gonna add just a smidge more flavor to it. Stay put. We're gonna put this up there. Gotta make it presentable. Oh, damn. All right. There's your farewell dinner. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So, let's get everybody in here and eat. Then let's go sit down and have a good time. We'll see you guys at the next dinner.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you very much. Please support us by liking us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue making smiles into memories.